So, guys, welcome to part two. If you haven't watched part one, go back, watch it quickly, then come back. So, in this second part, tutaguza nerve kidogo. So, Njugush, I think you can take over from here. At least I take a break.
Okay, I think my first question is to Thoma and Saimo. You'll contribute to this.
Yeah.
Is hockey in Kenya dead?
Hockey in Kenya is not dead.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
At
it
the
is
moment,
dying.
at the moment you have
Saimo,
5 leagues.
relax.
I'm not relax. At the moment you have 5 leagues.
Mhm.
Okay. When I started playing hockey, we had 2 leagues. That is
Two
back
leagues,
in
yeah.
2005. Was it two leagues? Yeah. Ladies
Yeah.
and men.
Mhm.
Gradually it improved to 3. Eventually you are now into 5 leagues.
Mhm.
So in terms of playing,
Mhm.
we have so many players as compared to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But in terms of younger players having hope for the future,
Mhm.
not only playing for passion, hapo tusidanganyane. Kuna mwelekeo.
But if the future is giving up, then that means we are headed nowhere.
Unajua watu, people play for various reasons.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
Me personally, hockey imenijenga.
Okay.
Okay? Where I'm currently employed,
Uh-huh.
hockey.
Uh-huh.
Networking through hockey. I
Mhm.
started coaching hockey. Okay?
Mhm.
It has taken me abroad. Na sina KHU by the way, tuelewane.
Mhm. Mhm. You're the technical bench we are talking about.
Ni kazi mali nafanya. Unaona? So hockey is not dead in Kenya. We just need the right people to channel our vijana the correct path. Patia mtu hope ati kesho akicheza, there's something to look up apart from just keeping fit. Wazee wengi sasa tunajua wazee hapo hivyo ukishapiga 33 job yanaweza kushika. Unaenda zoezi pale yenyewe tumbo isikue kubwa. Yeah, to keep fit, some physical fitness because you still love the game. Unaona? Appear you love the game. But my only wish is that union it is restructure. How was it? We incorporate more of the juniors of the youth, okay, to the union. People with new ideas. Otherwise, hockey will be dead in a few years. And I can confidently say, in 3 to 5 years, if we continue this trend, Uganda will surpass us, itatupita. Zambia, itatupita. Ghana ishatupita.
And Tanzania also coming up really well.
Tanzania,
Nigeria, itatupita.
even Namibia, you look at the way they played. Namibia are coming up.
Yeah. So ile powerhouse tulikuwa kitambo from the 80s to the 90s, it is slowly diminishing.
Okay.
Okay. In terms of players, we are not there.
Okay.
But in terms of management, starting from the top, which is the union, up to the watu wenyewe hapo. Watu wakubwa juu.
Simon.
Yeah.
I want you to answer that. Oh, you've already answered me that it is dead.
It is dying. Yeah.
Why? It is dying. Why? Yet we have. If I'm not wrong, at least I know this is a debate. Like the union has many constitutions.
Yeah.
And that is why even run up to the last elections, there was that trouble. There are so many constitutions. Which one do we follow?
Yeah. Ni moja, mimi natafuta moja, sijapata hata moja, nimetafuta.
Hata mimi
I will forward you one. After this link, I'm going
even
to forward you one.
Remember we had even a chat on Twitter and we said the one who gets it first should share. Yeah.
At least I have one. I went through other means and I got one.
So make sure you share.
Yes, I'm going to share with you immediately after this.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask you, Nani Saimo, is we have associations.
Yeah.
Which are the ones who vote the national office. Is it there where the problem is? And it's tying to what Nthoma had mentioned. Are the structures wrong? And that is why this game is dead, or what is going on? Because I can pick a good example of Lakers and Bungoma Farmers.
Yeah.
Those two teams have improved, and they have come from the Super Leagues, and they have come up to the Premier League, and they have shown performance. So is it that things are working down on the ground and nothing is happening up here, or what is going on?
The reason as to why I'm saying that hockey is dying is I usually look at this in all aspects. I usually don't look at it in terms of the sporting aspect. I also look at it in terms of the commercial aspect. And I think when we had that debate about Telcom pulling out, I mentioned this. See, as a coach, I have a lot of players. Like KU, I have over 70 players. But how many can afford to play this game at the moment? You look at the KHU leagues. We have right now. We have 6. The Masters League has been included, so you have 6. Okay, so you look at that. You say, okay, fine. It's a good thing. At least we are trying to get as many teams as possible to play. But you look at it over the years. You ask yourself, how many teams did we have? How many teams are coming, and how many teams will be able to sustain to play in the league? Remember, in Mombasa, we should be having 3 men's teams. That's Vita, Mombasa Sports Club, and Mombasa West. Remember, we also had Mombasa Institute a while back.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
Hey, I can't remember the last time Mombasa Institute. Hey, must have been way back before even. Yeah.
Yeah, when they pulled out, they never came back. So at least some of the players got into MSC. Some went to Mvita. You look at Mombasa West, they pulled out, never came back.
After a year.
Season, yes, after a year, after one season. You look at this season, how many teams have pulled out? 2. That is Kimathi and Kabarak, and those are institutions.
Yeah.
You speak with them, they are not hopeful, especially the team that, like, I started Kimathi with a few guys. I talked to them, they are not even hopeful of coming back next season. So the reason as to why I'm saying it's dying is we're only looking at the playing aspect, the sporting aspect. You're not looking at the commercial aspect of the game. Yes, we'll have new teams coming up. Every day, I'm sure even Hockey Kenya, you get messages. How much is it to register for the KHU leagues? But we all know self-sponsored clubs, how they are tedious to run.
Yeah.
The other thing you look at, if big sponsors like Chase Bank, Telcom start pulling out, how will we sustain the hockey in the country? You see, so that's why I'm saying it's dying. We might not see it, but it's a slow death. And now that cripples down to or goes up to the national level. We are in 2019. Look at the performance 10 years ago. Would Ghana have beaten us? Scratch that. Would Egypt have beaten us the way they beat us? They wouldn't have. You look at the performance across the 10 years, then you start asking yourself questions. Yes, at a national level, we can say it's growing because leagues, we have teams. Right now, I think we have 47 registered teams. But you look at the other aspects, you see we are struggling. You look at a team like Zimbabwe, a country which does not have a league as competitive as ours. But you look at how they are coming up. You look at how many sponsors are willing to sponsor those teams.
They had 14, I think.
14 official sponsors.
Yeah.
Official. We don't know the others because I asked, I had there around 21. Yeah, plus other stakeholders who are willing to come in. You look at Kenya.
Mmoja tumeshindwa.
Well, what I can confidently say is there are guys who are willing to sponsor the league. But one of them had a chat with us. He approached me and he asked me about the commercial aspect of the sport. So I shared with him the numbers. He looked at it and said, well, I don't see the value. And I'm being honest. He said to me, so straightforward, I don't see the value in investing a lot of money and I'm not getting anything back. You look at the games we play at City Park. Or I think only 4-5 games in a season ndio tunaweza pata City Park imejaa. That is 4-5 games.
And there are teams we can count.
Yeah.
Kenya Police, Green Sharks, which other one, Nthoma?
Ali.
Utali, yes.
Strathmore.
Zalendo anacheza jaza.
Yeah. Strathmore,
USIU.
yeah. Those are the games you can say at least gets us numbers. So when I'm saying it's dying, we have to look at all aspects. Fine, we have, like you say, the associations are trying. But you see, 2 or 3 associations, they can work hard, but if the others are not as willing, then you look at an example of the other day we did a marketing campaign for the Nakuru tournament. We only did it for 2 weeks. And it was the most successful tournament, which shows if there is proper marketing of these sports, we can get numbers. Because I remember that weekend of our Green Sharks, even guys who don't know hockey came to watch it. You look at rugby, how many of us in the country can say we even know how rugby is played? We just know there is a try, there is a conversion. But when you hear there is Prince-Lu Sevens, but what about us?
Nthoma is even wearing a rugby jersey.
No, I'm saying in the country. I'm not saying us. I'm saying in the country. Most of us go to those events because they are hyped. Yeah. So if we want this hockey to get back to where it was, I saw one post made by a lady on Facebook. She was saying that endless talks over beers. Which was interesting because that's what we have. We are being told now, us guys who are coming recent into this, in the 80s we used to do this, What about right now? What can we do? Yeah, you look at the union, fine, most of them have had, I think this is their second year in office. Yeah, so what have they done so far?
Well, is it really the second year or the 6th year? Depends on how you want to look at it.
No, I'm saying according to the new office, the new structure.
No. Let's be honest. The monkeys are still the same. The forest is different. And I don't mean to. I'm not demeaning them in any way, lest I'm also called and send messages about the scene. Yes, Nthoma.
Ningependa ianze kwanza na huko juu.
Okay.
The union itself, KHU, we start with the chairman, the structure. That chairman. What were his goals this period that he served? Alikuwa na short term goals gani na long term? Hii personally mimi nimetafuta mimi mwenyewe. Nimeuliza 1 or 2 guys from the union. Wameshinda kunijibu. Unaona, if we go to government offices, kuna ile ninakupatia services. There's usually a notice where services we're offering this is free, charge how, delivery time this and this. So start with the chairman. Is he accountable? What has he done? For this period, what has he done? Obviously kwa jili ndio avotiwe in, alikuwa na itongaji
manifesto.
Manifesto yake hapo alikuwa na zile vitu anajiuzia, unaona?
Yeah.
Now after that we look at the structure itself. There are some few guys manze. Unajua kesi iko na mtu pia.
Yeah.
Najua.
There's that boy.
Anaitwa nani? Mutuku.
Yeah, and tumemtafuta apatikani.
We are wasting.
Nthoma knows how to get him.
You should get him, bana. He needs to tell us, for example, when fixtures change.
And mtu press release.
Yeah.
HockeyKE, Hockey Kenya Magongo linatoa squad ya national team.
Yeah. Of which you are given different lists and have to think.
Yeah.
Alafu Kenya Hockey Union ina retweet.
Ina retweet.
By the way, Kenya Hockey Union ina retweet. Yani hata it was
the wrong squad.
Union kwanza, we need to sort out this union kwanza. Wache kutudanganya. Hawa wazee wache kutudanganya. Whatever they're doing in that office, just stop it. Just be honest to yourself, manze. Jiulize, at the end of the day, nikitoka hapa nikienda mtoto wangu akiniuliza nyumbani, nini nafanya kwa hiyo ofisi? How are you helping those guys who play hockey? Or dad or mom, if I was to play hockey right now, itanisaidia aje? How wazee wajibu kama hiyo? If they cannot yani jibu hiyo kitu na all honesty, yani ile mtu ujibu mpaka uridhike.
Yeah.
Okay tu. Watoke tu.
I agree with you in terms of we need to have a direction and see the direction.
Yeah.
Because and I've been saying this for quite some time, and I remember I was once told by an official, a KHU official, that mi upenda complain. Simon, you love complaining. And
the same ones were used to me. The same ones. Maybe don't get jobs the same.
Probably, who knows? So I asked myself if I'm making a good claim, because the claim was we run HockeyKE. Of course, we do hockey statistics in the country. Then you post a fixture that's supposed to be played, and you don't know that it was postponed. So you find that someone is commenting or sending you a message telling you, no, this fixture was changed. So I asked, why is it so difficult just to send to the media? We also have a media group, Njugush.
Yeah.
Just send a small message, one sentence, and say the following games have been postponed.
Yeah.
Or cancelled. You see, you look at the 3 pages. That is HockeyKE, HockeyKenya Magongo. That's where fans usually get
Info.
The info about Kenyan hockey. So you look at that. You even go to their own page to check whether there are fixture changes. You never see any. You find that.
Last update
Can I answer you the problem to that? Thomas,
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. It is being run by different people. It is not a union official who is running those accounts, and that's the problem. And that is why.
No,
and that
Njuguna,
is why these three.
Njuguna, it is okay. Yes. It's okay if they contract someone to do that. It is okay. It's fine. Wajilukiangalia hata corporate organization right now, kuna these aspects are media advertising.
You outsource.
But lazima hiyo link ikue.
Yeah.
Flow of information.
Yeah.
Ikue.
Yeah. Like I asked this. We got a certain list, let's say the previous night. Then in the morning another list was posted. And I asked, surely someone must look at that and approve. You just can't take anything and post online. The other thing, I gave a suggestion. I remember during that discussion, I gave a suggestion and said, why don't you just have a mailing group for media? Or even
there is a mailing group for media.
Okay, I'm not in it. I don't know why I'm not.
I always get emails pertaining the league, and even this double list of emails, or rather list of the national team is also the same. So maybe that is one thing that probably needs to be streamlined. I know in terms of getting, they have received a lot of criticism when it comes to communication, and I think that is one thing that needs to be sorted out, because for me it's what, a year since they set up those social media accounts.
Yeah,
are they working? Because again, if you can retweet someone else's another media house, if I can call it so, which is not the official account, and you are retweeting, meaning you are approving what we are doing. Nthoma,
I have a solution for them. Ukiangalia zile teams zinacheza institutions which play leagues, which and which offer journalism. Kuna USIU, kuna Daystar, kuna Multimedia. Nyingine?
I don't know
those four.
Off the top of our head, hizo tatu.
Yeah.
Off the top of our heads, hizo tatu. they can just appoint a social media guy. Intern to one party to internship. Wamnulie bundles. Wamnulie bundles. Okay, John and Skia. Because then alafu wako tu na update tu on the necessary information. See, KHU kuretweet Magongo kuretweet Kenya Hockey Kenya kuretweet KE. It is so sad. It is so sad. Tule tu bundles. Najua itasaidia kijana because ako first year second year itamsaidia. Bundles itamsaidia. Haitakuwa more than 500 for a month. So if they cannot do it themselves, incorporate juniors kwa hili. Sawa. Wapate tu kazi rahisi hiyo.
Yeah. Like I've been doing some studying on how England which use their media very well in terms of marketing their sports. I've been doing research on how the associations link up with the media houses. And one thing struck me is you find that, let's say, for example, the Premier League, which manages the football league, the FA Football League, what they do, yes, they have their official account. They post official stuff there, and at the same time, they send the same communication to the major media houses because they know there is further reach when people see them. Let's say in BBC, in Sky Sports, in let's say in BR Football. So it's the same thing. Like we don't have a problem, and we are not saying it's a bad thing for the official KHU account to retweet our accounts. All we are saying is give us the information and we'll only echo it out. We'll only amplify it out. Because you find that, for example, Hockey Kenya, you have also followers outside the country. KHU might not have them, but you have them. There are some followers you have, KHU does not have. So when someone sees that it is official from KHU, there is that reach. You see? So that's all I'm saying, that collaboration. You'll find that, for example, if all the fan pages, and there are many, not only the three, there are a lot of fan pages of hockey. If all of them speak the same language, then the popularity of the sport will grow. But you can't have those different things. The other thing we need to mention is, as much as we are talking about communication, is that disconnect that seems to be in the union. It's not a good thing.
Okay.
Because to me, and I'll be honest, to me, and what I've also had people talk about, it's like only three guys run the union. That is the chairman, the SG, and the match and fixture secretary. What about the others?
Deputy.
Okay, someone said that's the only time she's seen. Okay, that's what I had.
Personally, nimefanya hiyo research yangu nikaona na time ya trip nitamuona pale hivyo.
Who was the chief division this time round?
Sorry?
Who was in charge of the mission? Yeah.
I don't know.
But back to our discussion.
Yeah.
I hope to see e-union as structure from kiofisi wise. Ona chairman, mtu apiare kufanya kazi yake, fixtures, unaona kila kitu, because kuna sometime back was Alendo senior team was surprised that some players of their team were suspended for the match that they're going into. Alafu sasa ukiangalia kwa ofisi kuna guys linked to the Wazalendo team in the office. So like nini inaendelea kwa hii unit yetu? Inaendelea. It's a joke.
Let me tell you something. One of the things that I got tired was getting information, especially with cards and player statistics. And I know Saimo, you've been a victim of this several times.
Yeah.
Getting details, nitty-gritties, just to meet up your stories, because I love doing stories, and most of the times I want a unique angle to a story. I don't want just to pick write any general story that 5 goals were scored, this these goals were scored by so and so and so and so and so.
Yeah.
I always want to meet up the story, and I always want to look at the nitty-gritties of the game, because number one, you're teaching people more about the game, and number two, it means that you understand the game in your mind. And so getting that information has really been hard, and it has discouraged me. But I want to ask you two gentlemen a question. And this I got about was it three or so weeks ago, when Nairobi Simba was opening their park, their new pitch.
Yeah.
And and I got a call from hockey players who are also fans, and there was a big complaint that our fans are not really supporting our teams when it comes to international games. We keep bashing them, we keep supporting the other side, and it doesn't go well, because you're expected as a country to be one, despite the fact that you have issues. When a neighbor comes into your home, you don't air your dirty linen in public.
True.
I don't know what's your thought about this. Maybe, and it's something that I think I've also seen before.
That is true. I saw it when Chic Union were launching that tab.
Yes.
Over the week I was there. All the days I was there.
Yeah.
I only missed one, but I was there most of the time. And when the national team was playing, we are ready to critique. We are ready to critique rather than accept. And even this period that the teams have been in South Africa, you look in social media, even memes just starts with me. Only challenge South Africa trolling guys. It's our to shut it up. Let's accept, because at the end of the day, these guys are your friends. No. In national team yetu. Let's just be proud of it. Sawa. Tuko tu real na wenyewe. Ranking zile ziko huko. Teams mingi zimetushinda in terms of ranking. It is only Namibia, si ndio?
Yeah.
It is only Namibia. Which one? Namibia and
maybe Zimbabwe.
Yeah, Zimba 68, Namibia. Zim 61, Namibia 68.
Yeah.
Tayari tunaona mali tumeshajua mali tuko. We guys ni challenge kwa wase. Usiwe ready to wase. Ni sawa to accept. Zile squad ulikuwa unataka, not the player that you want is in the team, but just embrace the team. Sasa wa support tu. That critics about devil tunafanya sasa to punch holes tuseme hapa na ilikuwa demoralizing to some players. True. Na best akasema hiyo.
Hey man.
True.
Sometimes I would be on a WhatsApp page and I look at the messages that are going in. You're just like, man, where is our patriotism as a country? Because I think that is the one thing we need to do. That I think we need to, maybe that's the first thing we need to change, because many players are fans and many fans are players. So let us.
But that boils down. Njuguna, that boils down back to union. Kwa jili unakumbuka sasa kusema commercial aspect.
Yeah.
Aspect. If the union sasa inakuja na link up na ile point yangu. If the union itself is structure vizuri. Yeah? To make it worthwhile to stakeholders to come and invest.
Yeah.
The safest to play hockey, and the majority of the guys will be watching hockey. So you'll find like, just to ballpark it, 80 to 90% of the hockey fans are hockey players.
Yeah.
A few, majority wale wameka na rela ama beste yake.
Yeah.
So if the union does not get it right on a place, kwa jili ukiangalia kuna pesa mingi, okay, wacha tuanzie kwa global union. Kama FIH, as FIH get some funds to the sport in Kenya.
Yes, it does. I believe they fund the African Union, and then the African Union funds
the national
union. The national unions, yeah.
The national unions. On top of that funding, how is KHU making money? Kuna hiyo kapa kimelisio tu Aga Khan, kuna hiyo kiwanja ya futa, kuna ticketing. Okay, si kila mtu analipanga
kuna team za footers trainia pale ndani.
Left foot, unaona.
Yeah.
So hiyo ndo kidogo watengeneza. If they just make it a Kenya hockey to be commercialized, targeting fans. Yani mimi tangu nianza kucheza hockey, club hockey back in 2005, top scorer amekuwa akipata tu handshake na trophy. National League hata 10,000 hakuna, yani ni trophy tu. There's nothing hakuna. Yet these teams zinalipa hapo hivyo team registration, player registration, transfer fees, wakihire out City Park. Hizo ni points nimeweka. Ongezea ile kama kimelisiwa na hiyo kiwanja sita. Hizo ni 7.
Yeah.
How are they managing these funds that they are getting? Oh, sorry. Na hiyo trickle down from the African FIH to African Union. How are they managing these funds? Is it visible?
Are they able to account for it?
Yes. Mtu akiuliza, can I see your books of account? Tunaonyeshwa.
Yeah.
So ni hiyo structure hapo kwanza. I'm only pesa yako huyo the guy we were talking to, niko sure he was interested not only the league itself.
Yeah.
But the national team structure. How are we going to develop these teams? Me, na hii nimeshai mention for several guys. Naweza sema hata sahi men's national teams coach. Again, nimeshai kuambia. How you guys cooperating kwa Jiloki na sahi nacheza with so many players right now as compared to some years ago.
Yeah.
International skills.
How
are you cooperating those kids? Kuna Kenya pale, international schools lakini kuna Kenya pale who are very talented. How are you cooperating them to the sport?
To the squad. Are you going out to scout?
No.
And I think let me
ningependa kuona structure ile design. Ukienda Uganda sasa unaona wanachukua hizo mahoki wamepeleka kwa watoto huko. Even in Western Uganda are now playing hockey. And from what I've learned is that they want to start different age groups. And it's all over. Ukienda Australia, ukienda England, ukienda hata USA, different setups. Now you have at least, you can understand at least 3.
Yeah.
6 teams, under 21, once in a while nakwanga under 16 and under 18.
Under 18.
Yeah. But hockey ukiangalia sahi tuko na wale wa development. Have you looked to them? Group them into ages under 9, under 11, under 13, under 16, 18,
under 18,
under 21, senior team. Kwa hizo stages za kuprogress. Una track msepe hivi. I think sema tumeingia hapo hivyo kwa ile nini yako ya for the future, way forward.
Yeah.
Before we go to the way forward, I just want to add something. There's a lot of passion that is out there.
Yeah.
For us to sit here at this time of the night discussing hockey, it means we are passionate about the game.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman in Dagoretti who got in touch with me on the Hockey Kenya page, and he asked me for a slot whereby these boys can get to play on the surface, and I linked him up with Olal, with the development team that was going on, because he has kids under 13, and he's been passionate about them for at least how I've known him is for the last 2 years, and he's been every day training those kids. And I kept on asking him, how do you get this? Where do you get the funds to do this? And he says, it's out of passion and what I see in those young people that I want to do. They train at this school, forgotten the name, but anyway, I'll remember. So that is something. There's passion that the union needs to take advantage of and bring in people. I believe if they incorporated, they can call them committees. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bring people into mind, especially this young blood, because from the last elections, there were a few youth who were running for office. I can remember Keshi of my mind. She was running for the treasurer's position.
Yeah.
Where do you let them be? Because you need to groom them so that they get into this. They not to learn the vices of what you're doing, but let them know how the union runs. Let
Yeah.
it be understood. Because my biggest disagreement with the union is they have never been open. It is
Yeah.
this silo that people get in and just forget and forget where they come from. There were a lot of hopes from some of the people who went into office. They have gone in, and it's as if you get in and you're getting into parliament. You forget where you have come from.
May I ask a question? May I ask a question there? You say that we mentioned it in the first part where we have a majority of the guys of the officials in KHU also work in the corporate world, right?
Yeah.
They've also played hockey, or they also play hockey. Do you think, as I said, there is a gap or a disconnect between the sporting and the commercial aspect of hockey? Do you think having both experiences by those officials, do you think they've narrowed the gap, or the gap is still the same?
Nothing has really changed, because if you ask me, no money is coming in. You've mentioned some of the universities that have dropped out. These are
Yeah.
institutions which are capable of financing their teams to play for the league, and nothing. They have reached a point where they're saying there is no value for this thing.
Yeah.
So it's widened. I think for me, I would blame it squarely on the PR. That is where the problem is. There's no story that is coming out. Yes, we are doing our part, but the union is sleeping,
Yeah.
if I can
True.
put it so. Because
Yeah.
if they were talking about it and we buff them up, as you say, then it will have been a different story. But if they are asleep and we are the ones talking, I'm sure even you getting funds has been a problem, because I'm sure you run it on your own budget and out of
Yeah.
your own pocket.
True. I usually tell guys.
And so it
Yeah.
is hard for someone to come in and sponsor even you, because
Mm,
he's not seeing the value for it. But if the
true.
union was out there speaking,
Yeah.
then it would have been a different story, because the league, as Thomas said, is very competitive,
Yeah.
and there's that urge to play, especially in the younger generation. We need to
True.
harness it. If we don't harness
Yeah.
that talent, then we're going wrong.
Yes, Nthoma. Yeah.
Saimo,
Yeah.
zile billboards la kwanga on the side of the pitch. How many corporates have you seen? One of the last time a new one came in.
Currently, we only have one, and that one has pulled out as well. So
Kuna kwanga Telcom na Nairobi sponsors. Ndio ama Nairobi sponsors. So
this
hakuna. So that's not a question. It's as simple as that. Kama mtu haezi billboard, hakuna billboard mpya inakuja.
Yeah.
Let me add one.
That gap is still there.
We have a patron for the union.
Yeah.
I saw him I think it was HockeyKE's tweets at one point in life. What is he doing?
Yeah.
What is he doing for the team? So
I also think
we need to
that is
we need to
ailing us.
collectively, we need to collectively come up and just
Yeah.